Everybody is special. Like, everybody's special. Even if you don't feel like you're special, everybody's special. It's just we all live in our heads, and I figured out how to dance in my head.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Bottled Up. I'm your host, Andrew Allen, and today I'm excited to sit down with someone who truly embodies grit, heart, and local pride, Jourdan Derouen. Jourdan is the owner and operator of Oliver Scott Insurance Agency. He hosts his own podcast, the Jourdan Derouen Podcast, and most notably for today, he's the co-founder of Carter's Champions charity. In this episode, you'll get to hear about Jourdan's unconventional journey, how growing up on the Mississippi Gulf Coast shaped him, why he believes in learning outside the box, and how facing personal challenges led him to build a business and a charity from the ground up. We'll dive into the origins of Carter's Champions and their big plans for the annual Pink Dress Run, including an important update on offering free mammograms to the community. Whether you're passionate about community service, interested in entrepreneurship, or just love a good story about overcoming the odds, this conversation has something for you. Stick around, you're going to walk away inspired. Let's get into it. Welcome to another episode of Bottled Up. Today, my special guest is Mr. Jourdan Derouen. He is the owner-operator of Oliver Scott Insurance Agency, the host of the Jourdan Derouen Podcast, and co-founder of Carter's Champions. Jourdan, thanks for coming on the show, man.
You're welcome, Andrew.
So Jourdan, I've been on your show a couple of times. I always have a fantastic time. The vibes are always good. And I figured because next month being October and is a big month for you with Carter's Champions and breast cancer awareness and everything along those lines, I wanted to kind of get you on and let's talk about that. I want to talk about you growing up. I want to talk about what made you decide to start a podcast. And then I want to kind of get into your insurance business. So Jourdan, where did you grow up?
I grew up in St. Martin area, Latimer. My mom lived in Latimer, right there across from Cruthers Country Corner. My grandmother, me and my brother lived there a lot of the times, it's grandma's house in Cedar Grove. And then my dad was Ocean Springs, around the downtown area.
Okay.
So all over the coast a little bit.
Yeah. To say that you're a coast born and bred would be a 100% statement, correct?
Yeah, I love this place. It's my favorite place.
Well, your passion for this area of the world is renowned. So I want you to definitely know that from outside looking in. Everyone I talk to and your name comes up, your passion for your community and the people down here is always shines through, man. So I just want you to know that.
About to make me cry.
Well, so you grew up in that area, and I remember you telling me you went to Full Sail, and you've always kind of had a grind. You're a rise and grind kind of guy. Like, you're always always have a project. You always have something you're working on. You're always grinding on something, and you're very self-made. Which is one of the things I respect the most about you, is how you formulate your own future and reality, and then you grind to get there. And a lot of people don't have that in them. They don't have that dog in them like you do. So let me ask you this question. So whenever you graduated from high school, what was your intention? Like, what were you wanting to do with your life?
Well, St. Martin, I actually dropped out. At the time, my buddy Brandon Bailey and me, school really wasn't for me when I got towards high school, because I took a class through Gordon Nelms as a computer class where I learned how to HTML code a website. And I was like, I was that kid in school, man. I mean, I knew I was dyslexic. I mean, and I knew that I was ADHD. And now when it came to like creative stuff in school, like if it was like, writing a paper on a creative thing, like I won on there, but I never did my homework. I did not like sitting around. That's probably my brain. I just didn't enjoy the last end of my school. So I made a decision to drop out. And then I went and worked I just started, kind of working. My first job was for Chum Churn. I was hand making the Chum Churn fishing device.
Yeah.
I was making like $500 a week. I was sitting there I would make them. I would bend the pipes. I would slot the PVC. I would pack them up and bring them to Academy Sports. What I learned about school was networking and friends. It's up to me I had a buddy named Brent Caldwell, and he taught me something that I never forgot. And he did a perfect score on his ACT. He actually is in North Carolina. He's getting ready to be a Democratic mayor.
Okay.
But he said, Jourdan, he said, they give us a book. Just read the book. And I was like, oh, so I kind of took that from him, and I'm like, okay, well, I went and did my ACT. It was kind of around 10th grade. I would say 10th or 11th grade. And I was just like, okay, I just rather go to an art institute or drop out and go straight to college. Because, I knew then that certifications are important. I knew that, and I'm saying this for a lot of your guests. I mean, it's not for everybody, but if you could set a goal for yourself to say, I'm going to learn how to build this website, or I'm going to learn how to master Photoshop. I mean, it's up to you to, set, you got to be your discipline and you're pushing your mind. You can never tell. People always say this to me, like, how do you figure this stuff out? It's like, well, I mean, I love learning. I just don't like learning in a big classroom setting. I'd rather,
I totally get what you're saying, man. It's not, a lot of the times locking a kid in a room is not conducive to certain mindsets. And kids, you're more of an hands-on kind of guy. And you need someone to show you how to do something and then let you loose and say, all right, now do it now. I get it, man. You do
that with your own company, Andrew. And I mean, you're a lot like me when it comes to being hands-on too. It's just, you always set stuff, whether you're going to read a book or learn something, you put that in your calendar on top of, I mean, me and you are both the type of people where we'll skip a movie to learn something. There are sacrifices when you want to push your brain.
Yeah. 100%.
Me and you're a lot alike when it comes to that stuff. And I think that was something that it really, man, what I did was just like, I would like trade off football I would take this company called like Udemy, even after Full Sail, udemy.com. It's like $12 you can learn in a class, and you get a certification. If you get a certification, you can go to Adobe and, it's anything, but it's all about certifications. And it's all about, this world has moved so fast that you got to stay ahead of the curve.
Yeah, you do. And you kind of have to have that gut feeling of what's the next thing is going to be, and you need to learn about it, right? I mean, AI, if you're behind on that, I know it's with large corporations especially. I mean, I don't know how. I know there's some applications with local businesses basically getting creative ideas and nuggets of how to like come up with an ad, like say, hey, I want to do an ad, and you plug it in and it gives you kind of like an outline of what to utilize as an idea. But I think that learning on your own and achieving stuff on your own and is highly important in the world, not just in business, but and everybody always says it's like, hey, they always have a goal, and the goal is always, once I hit that goal, I'm going to be good. Once I get here, I'm going to be good. But then they don't realize that it's the grind of getting to the goal is what you like.
And be ready to fail. I mean, I think that was a big thing I learned. Like, I'm okay. Like, and let's go back. Let me go a little bit about, me as a kid. I was born with cerebral palsy. I was a Shriner's kid. I have probably 20% on my right foot. So, I was in braces. I was the kid that was, the kid in braces and casts. And, there was people that loved me, but then there's people that, look at the way I walk or something. So I think for me, it was like, I had to accept failure at a young age. And I think that's what people really are scared of, is failure. I probably talked to about 2 people a week about how to podcast. And I always tell them, it's like, you just got to be okay with failing. Like, you can't worry about what people think of you. That's something that I'm okay with. It took 4 years for me to tell people that I was a co-founder of Carter's Champions. Only reason I did that was because I was put too much pressure on John. And I just enjoyed being in the back of the room at first, because I just always wanted to take it in. But failure is something that people are so scared of. But once you learn how to fail, I like failing every day. I'm going to fail today. Like, I'm down.
Yeah.
And it's a weird situation, I know, but like, you can't have anything figured out. For the podcast, me and you've been doing podcasts for a while. People call me all the time. They're like, well, I need to get all this gear. No, just get you some little cheap lab mics from Amazon and try to have a conversation for 30 minutes. You don't need the new camera. You don't need, when I was doing podcasts, I had to get the gear because, our phones are a whole different world now. I mean, look at us on Zoom right now. Zoom, this first time me being on Zoom, like in a high def style. I mean, they got face filters on here.
I know, it's nuts, man.
So, people just to be able to tell a story. And I mean, I go through this every week, and it's just people never pull the trigger because they feel like they have to have the $3,000 in gear. I mean, I know this is your show. I'm excited to be on your show because you figured out how to become one of the best bosses down here on the coast with your employees. We get to spend a lot of time talking about it. Me and you both love video games, but
100%.
But you're okay with failing.
The way that I look at it is this: I know I'm going to fail, but in that failure, am I going to feel okay about it because I did the best I could do? And if I'm like, okay, I did the best, there's nothing else I could have done that could have made that situation any better, and I didn't get it, or I use that, okay, well, I learned from that, and then in the next one I get a little closer. I might fail again, but I get a little closer to getting it, and then finally you get it, and then you start clicking, and it is exactly how you said. And it's interesting to hear that you talk to people about wanting to get in the podcast game. How long ago did you get into podcasting, Jourdan?
Let's go to 2011. I was at my house in Hickory Hills. I've always been a big gamer. I started playing a game called Ghost Recon Online when I was 17. So I kind of knew the internet then, like, communication, party chats.
That was on Xbox Live, right?
Yes.
The original. I played the original one. Yeah. There was no gun. It was just a reticle.
Yeah, we did. And there was no grenades. Like, it was a fun game.
Yeah, it was. It was all about like your kit and you had AI teammates that you had to kit out. Like, you might have a really good. You could switch between them too, couldn't you?
Well, yeah, but they actually had online where I actually played with DJ Boris, a couple of my friends down here, and we started a little clan called Elite Stars, and we started doing clan battles. Well, that's cool. If you're a person that wants to stay at home and get a video game system. You don't have to play, shooters, but get a video game system, and there's a party chat, and there's a lot of cool people on the internet. So we would do that, and then we would always have these personalities and cut up. Well, I would say about 2011, I hopped on this channel called Twitch randomly one night. I just hit because they had at the time those capabilities of broadcasting, and I was sitting there, man, and I was sitting there having a couple beers, just cutting up on Call of Duty. Well, I didn't really know that I hit my video camera on it. Keep in mind, this is running off the PlayStation 4.
Oh, God.
And all of a sudden, I look down, and there's like 150 people. There's like eyes. There's like 150 people in there. And I blew up the map. I was just in the game mode, and then people started hitting me up on messages. Well, then I said, you know what? I called my buddy James Bennett and said, you know more about how to set up. So I got a laptop, a capture card. Had horrible audio back then. That's why you hear the audio now.
Yes.
It was so bad. And then I'd stream almost 6 hours a day consistently. And that's when I started learning about being consistent, because I kept streaming and kept growing. And then I joined a clan called Doom. And then I got swatted 2000, about a year after that. And I got with the Gaucher, and I had about 14 officers surround my house, and kind of went a little viral on Twitter. And I was like, I don't even know what VPN is, but kind of threw me off kind of like my privacy. So right. I put that down.
That would kind of shock you a little bit. Shock to the system.
Yeah. Just like, it makes you feel weird. Like, look, I'd invite you over to my house, but don't just show up,
Right.
I think that's a lot for everybody. And so I would say then about 4 or 5 years later, I go back and forth. Like, I'll be honest with you, like, I turned the game system on and hit stream again, and everybody come back in the room, and I could do it for one night. And then I just felt weird. So then I shut it off, and I always was like, yeah, I'm gonna be back on tomorrow, but I never show up. I think about 2018, I started, it was my buddy Jared Seymour. Shout out to Brownwater Banter. He knew that I wanted to push back into, because I love I love talking to people. You know that I'm a talker.
100%.
And then Jared just helped me set up. We started those Castnet Studios. We were kind of dabbling then. And an old buddy of mine, we started a podcast together. Shout out to Matt. We had, went different directions, but me and him got together and we're talking, let's start this show over.
That was a fun show to go on, man.
It was all built on like kind of like life and depression, and being in this world of working and getting off of work and wanting to just BS. It was a concept, whether we had guests or not. We just wanted to get on that show, and that's what took off. I mean, it was just, and then we parted ways over because I would say this: do a podcast, but don't do business and a podcast.
Yeah,
you can't have both. You can't have you can't have an Andrew Allen and another podcaster, and then both own Allen Beverages. It just doesn't work that way.
Yeah, I think that's a lot of ties to one's life. Both of those things together.
Yeah, and I learned the hard way. He learned the hard way. Ultimately, we separated. He kept his insurance company that we were together on, and I kept the podcast. And I didn't really keep our podcast. I actually just went and said, you know what? Because I was thinking in my mind, like, should I shut it down? I was like, should I shut it down?
I think it's a good outlet for you, Jourdan. I think that it allows you to have really good in-depth conversations because, like you said, you are a talker and you love connecting with people and you like, inviting people over and having conversations and like figuring out what makes them tick and kind of learning from that situation. So I think that the fact that you went out and did it on your own and started your own was probably a good decision for you.
I did my first episode that I did on my own was did Carrie Jo, Emily's best friend. And the reason I love podcasting is people are so stuck in this thing. I mean, even at dining room tables or sporting events, people don't have conversations anymore. They really don't. Especially, there's nothing like sitting there for an hour and a half and letting a person open up about their life. That is definitely, you're right. That's like my drug. Like, do you remember that series in Batman? Was it Batman Forever with the Riddler? Wasn't it Forever?
Yeah, that was the one with Jim Carrey.
So remember when he had that TV and he would take that plunger and put it on his head?
He would suck everybody's thoughts into his own thoughts.
That's my brain. So, I mean, that's how I view it. And
you're the Jim Carrey version of the Joker. Or no, the Riddler. Sorry, the Riddler.
Well, think about this. I had you on the show not too long ago, and you're telling this story. I knew it's been hard on you losing Mr. Drew, and his office was locked for many years, and you had to hire a new person, knowing you had to move in your dad's office, and then you discovered a folder from Katrina, and your dad was had people giving him money for donations, and your dad was cutting money out of his checks to keep people going. And imagine if you didn't tell that story, that's something that I get people all the time is like, dude, that story with Andrew is wild.
One of the crazy parts about it, Jourdan, is it happened the day I was supposed to come on your show.
I know.
I literally, that morning, I found all that. And then I wasn't like, oh, this will be good to talk about with Jourdan. Like, it wasn't like that. It's like I was sitting there and we were having a conversation about it. And I said, man, you know what I found today? Like, that's how it happened. And yeah, it is interesting that, and the long format play of podcasting is so much fun because you do get to have a conversation, right? It's a give and take. It's not like these tidbit text message, blah, blah, like here's a text. Like some people don't even want to get on the phone anymore. And I'm way on the other side of that, especially like when dealing with Pepsi corporate, right? They're email heavy, super email heavy. So it's like we have sent 7 emails back and forth to get one point across where I could just call your office and we could have handled this in 3 minutes.
And it's probably, and by then, about your 7th email, your brain starts getting a little numb. And
then exactly.
About 2:00, your wife's trying to talk to you and you can't.
Yes.
And you got to be home for your girls.
Why aren't you talking back to me? What, are you too busy?
Yeah, I mean, look, guys, Andrew Allen's little escape is catch him on PlayStation. He likes playing a lot of solo campaigns.
Yeah, it's Helldivers 2 is what I'm on right now. But
it helps you. But you found your outlet. For me, I just been able to I had somebody tell me it's like you're the somebody said like, you have that microphone for the coast. And I think I take that with honor. I
would agree with that statement, Jourdan.
I got 2 podcasts this week. So first off, this week I got Frets for Pets at the Juke Joint. And this is a pre-recorded, but tonight I got a podcast in downtown Ocean Springs. And then Thursday I got a podcast with Josh Hankins and Mary Hankins that own was it Raven and Rose?
Okay.
And then I'm moving on to Monday. So I mean I don't try to do 2 podcasts a week. It just comes into people I need to be on the show or I got a personal story to talk about. And one thing I'll tell people that, because I know there's listeners that listen to this podcast, they love your podcast, but it's what I don't want is the ego. Like I want you to come on. I don't care if you have no money. I don't care if you have all the money. I want you to come on and tell a story. If you want to plug stuff on my show, you ever notice that's fine, plug away. I just plugged them on your show, and I think that's going to mean the world because they've raised. Frets for Pets has been going on their 10th year, and they've already raised $30,000 from Humane Society.
That's great.
So it's just stuff like that.
Let me ask you this question. I think I already know the answer to it, though. Are these are all just live recordings, correct? You're not editing any of these.
No, I can't.
That has saved you so much time.
Well, it's also put me out of my comfort zone. I was telling Emily, like, I'm probably going to start stealing your idea to like give a little of who the person is. I think I'm going to do it tonight because I just, I'll do a full show. And the person will be like, I've been trying to search this person. You didn't even tell me his name. I was like, oh yeah.
Yeah, dude, just knock out that quick introduction. Then you're free.
Well, I mean, that's me actually opening up and saying, no, I didn't come up with that idea, Andrew. It's me. I was talking to Scott about it. I was like, I think I need to take that with how you do it. I think I need to do a little description because you've been on the show with me. Me and you will mess around for 15, 20 minutes before the show starts and I just hit live.
Yeah, that is true.
I mean, I'm working on that. I'm not, it's not a perfect show. I
kind of like it though, man, because it's kind of like it takes the formality out of it. And the people who are on the show just think they're having a conversation. So it's not like they don't feel any pressure of like their own, you know what I'm saying? It kind of disarms them.
That's the whole key of podcasting is being able to let people know that they come on your show and you're not just getting them on the show just to have another guest on, I think I've seen that with, when you were doing, was it Steve Johnson or when you did Brad and Brooke?
Yeah,
and
Shed.
Yeah, but I mean, you're like going after. You're not doing it just because the Shed's one of the largest barbecue companies in the South.
They were They were the first ones I thought about whenever we decided to do it. I was like, man, I know exactly who is great and that's just because of their presence, man. They're so charismatic and their story is really neat. And they were the first ones I ever did. I was scared out of my mind talking to them. But, when you talk to Brad and Brooke, they're just super easy to talk to. They're family owned just like we are. It's an incredible story of how they've grown that business over there to what it is today. So the Steve one, man, Scuba Steve, I'd known since I was in high school, and I had never gotten the origin story of how he started his company. And he had, the cancer, and that was a heavy mute point on his story, but I didn't want to focus on that. I kind of wanted to focus on like, how does someone just have an idea and then make a company out of it?
I used to buy shirts from the mall from him when he had his little kiosk.
Yeah.
I would buy a shirt. My dad and Big Tommy Soche, shout out to Big Tommy, and my dad would always hang out with his dad. So that Big Tommy and Steve's older dad they were real close, and I knew through Scuba Steve's dad because how much he bragged about it. To be honest with you, like that's a good thing, quality, but that's how I really discovered him. Was my little boy's got he's a t-shirt company. And then he started making good quality T-shirts. I mean, he didn't go straight for the cheap shirts.
No, he didn't. That story about how he ordered those, he shrunk. They were all so small. He shrunk all of them. And then he said he went behind a shopping center. I think it was like Northwood Shopping Center up on 49. He threw them in the dumpster and started crying.
I mean, it happens. That's a part of failure.
That's a low point in that man's life, and he's willing to talk about it. You know what I mean? So it's incredible the things that people. And then he worked, I think it was like 16 months with no days off in the mall. Like that's hardcore.
You got to do that. I mean, I think that was like that's what people are missing out on. If you go, I got to have the weekends off. I mean, if you're trying to, I don't even like using the word entrepreneur because, like, I mean, right now, I would say self-made through my charity and self-made through my family life. But, financially, I'm still in that grind. I got bills. I got, I mean, and look at you. You got a lot more bills than me. But, I mean, it's just that thing where you can't, I'll be honest with you. I work 6 days a week. I mean, I love it. Like, and I just don't want to leave this earth and go, I didn't do enough. And like I said, I'm not the 9 to 5 Henry Ford type of person. Last night, I had to do my continuous education for my insurance company. You know how long I tested for it? Because I just wanted to get it done.
How long?
I started at 3 and got done at 12:30 or 1. I was watching the football game.
Oh, my God.
And I fell asleep, and I'm like, I forgot about doing this show, but my alarm went off, and that's when shout out to Ashton and Johnny.
Thank you.
Johnny sent a 9 a.m. thing, and I thought it was 10 a.m.
Yes.
So, like, I was like, oh, but guess what happened? got all my stuff taken care of, got my 24 hours of continuous education done so I could focus on Carter's Champions, because I'm freaking out right now, but I can carry it pretty well.
Seeing how you brought up Carter's Champions, I want to talk about, I kind of know a little bit. I got the story from John, and if y'all want to hear John's origin story of this charity is on, I did a podcast with him earlier, so you can look that up in the library, but I want to hear your side of it. And I want to hear, you're the co-founder of this organization that has done tremendous, tremendous work. And this is going to be a special year coming up because there's something that y'all have been working on for a long, long time that is coming to fruition. I want to talk about that and expose that, and so everybody can hear it. But tell me a little bit about your side of founding Carter's Champions.
I was in Hickory Hills at my house. John called me. I guess there's people like, for me, most time on social media, when I was using like Facebook stuff, I'd always talk about like my depression and write like these long paragraphs about like, how I feel that day, stress about money, stress about family life. And I'd put it out on public because I felt better myself. I mean, I'm my worst critic, and so I then also was doing my marketing stuff. I just do funny, like I'd make funny graphics I'd go to local businesses, because I'm, also a photographer, but I go to local businesses and teach them how to set up Google and do free marketing for these, these businesses that have been around since we were kids, because I knew the technology wasn't going to, they're going to be the last ones to learn. So I would just go around and do free marketing on my social media. Like I'd go to like a boutique, or I'd go to a restaurant, Blowfly, or wherever. And so John was following me through his brother, Jake. Me and Jake grew up together. I mean, Jake's my age. And so me and Jake always kind of, talk back and forth. Well, John just got my number and asked me, said, "Hey man," he said, he lost an aunt. Would you help me with some marketing for us to raise money, once a year? John, I remember like, hey, once a year, I mean, we're kind of on a different level. I mean, it was more like we're partiers, and I said, sure. I mean, and then we started doing a different organization for a little while. And I was kind of just helping him marketing. And then me and him.
This is when you and John like got together.
Yeah. I didn't know. I mean, we weren't close at all. Like we were close on the mission of helping others.
Got it.
He was a country guy. I like EDM music. I'm not, he likes the more from the heart songs. I like Stevie B and a little techno, a little skate ring, but we just still work great together. We've just put our heads down. And then the first year, I think we raised like maybe $9,000 or something. And we had respect for each other.
Man. That's not too shabby in the first year.
Yeah. We have respect for each other. I mean, the second year, we went and I think we raised like 15, and then we kept slowly becoming friends over our 2 a.m. work schedules. And at the time, when you're doing these kind of charity things, you really don't have that much time to hang out with friends. And so John became one of my, I guess, acquaintances, and we pulled off another successful year. And then the third year came, and it kept going. And then we just left that other organization. But by then we had so much respect for each other because we were the, first ones there, last ones to leave. I actually started listening to country music a little bit.
Oh yeah, he got you.
Well, yeah, and that was just, then he just looked at me and he goes, "You got to tell." It's like third or fourth year. He's like, he looked at me. He's like, "You got to tell people you're the co-founder." I was like, no. But then, and then he'd buy me like little gifts, man. He'd buy me like a knife, or we'd always buy each other like little gifts. Like if you look at his F-250 and he's got that bullet antenna, I bought that as like one of our end of the year gifts. We buy each other like little stuff like, hey, this is our good job. We're not like, cause at the time we're not taking our charity money. Like,
no. This isn't like a hey, 45% of the proceeds go and then the rest are all on operating expenses kind of shit. Nah.
There's like many times where I fall asleep in a chair and wake up at I fall asleep in my chair at 2 a.m, wake up at 5 a.m. or 6 a.m. by Emily, and same thing with John. So it's one of the things where it's the behind the scenes. Well, and like I say that, like we just started having kind of respect, but we also would go back and forth like brothers. I could see his kids started to get close to me. We started developing a true friendship. And then it's just, I think, man, it took us the fourth year was like, all right, we're linked now. And whatever decision we make, whether he makes a decision or I make a decision, we back each other. And
y'all trust each other.
We ain't got, because you can't go, John, no, John didn't agree with me. We don't, that's one thing about me and John, don't show that to people. Even if I do something, me and John will talk after.
Yeah.
Be like, we could do it this year, or that way we can keep our team focused. And
yes, I have similar situations like that with my supervisors. Like they might go out in the market and make like a horrible play, right? But I'm going to back them because I don't want that customer to lose trust and respect with my supervisors. So we have an offline conversation about, hey man, don't do this again. I'm gonna back you this time. You know, you kind of have to have those conversations away from the team.
And you know, we kept Carter's champions as how we wanted to move the charity. Of course, people are like, well, it's his last name, but that wasn't our mission. We never cared about the name. So John made that logo Carter's Champions on clip art on his computer. So I just kept it, ran with it, because when you see like anything you see pretty much now, we got a girl named Margaret coming in, Margaret Jackson, but she does work with Domino's and stuff, but she's been doing really well with flyers, and the team over the time has been, you know, making graphics. But at that time I was making probably 100% of our graphics, banners, flyers, our dresses. I own the IP for the .com. I own peakdressrun.com. I own carterschampions.com. This is a lot of work when you go to like the graphic. And then, you know, I think what made the run so special, and John was always supportive, is like I started taking banners and putting people on banners and making them colorful, because I just didn't like going to our event and seeing like white banners.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's always been like a creative thing, but I would say John, during our time to do our events, we just started hanging out because we had to get stuff done. And then our friendship just blossomed. Man, I'm talking all the way up to the point where I knew that we were like brothers, because I think it was, I would say 2020, maybe. Me and Emily had a miscarriage, and I was at Shandy Fest. It's probably 2021, but I was at Shandy Fest, and I was so excited about, because it was that Saturday, and I was just down and out. You know, I was pumped up, but then when that Monday came around, we had a miscarriage. I had the best weekend with the friends. I went to like Jeff O'Keefe's housewarming party by you. I had one of the best times.
Yeah. Oh, all 54th.
Yeah, but we had the best time. Well, I guess Emily must have reached out to John, but I knew then, like when we had that care, like my heart was broken.
I'm sorry, Joe. I didn't realize that, man. That sucks.
Well, John, this is what kind of friendship we have. Well, John stayed with me for a week because I was just upstairs being a hippie. I ain't coming down from this. And I said, John had his guitar, because John will always come play music for me. This is kind of when I'm working on design, he's got a guitar in his hand. Well, I told John, I looked at him because he stayed with me that week. I looked at John and said, you got to put that phone down and you got to start playing. And if you're going to sit here while I grieve, I'm going to turn this camera on, and you're going to forget about that guitar or missing strings. You're going to start singing your heart out. And that's how John started going from like playing just for friends to now he's playing events.
Right.
But you see how that worked. It went from one heartache to one blossom thing that happened during our friendship. But we have that same love that I think you got to have in respect for a person. Look, it's not about being left or right. Me and John never talk about politics and stuff. We're always going, all right, let's help each other. How can we help each other do better? You know? Yeah. But yeah, I mean, over time, we just became brothers. I think John Carter is one of the greatest people on the coast.
He's a good man.
He's an amazing father to Amy and the boys. Shout out to Lucas and crew. And, you know, John you have to find a person that goes, the best thing about people is when you have that friend, like if you have that friend, leave that friend. But if you have that friend that you have an idea and they just shut it down automatically and they're always negative, they're going to keep you in a box. When you have a John Carter and I'm like, I want a giant arch. John looks at me and goes, let's get one.
Yeah. Sky's the limit, baby.
I think people's judgment in our life is, you know, if somebody's judging a friend, that's to me, that's not a real friend. Like that's a person that's holding you back from these ideas. And I think that, and then our staff, like having people that is, you know, we've had people come and go. Okay. But I'm at a point now where, you know, our staff, I mean, they're stronger than me and John right now. I mean, minus me and John do majority of the sponsor money, but it's just because we've always communicated with a lot of our sponsors. But our staff, man, I'm so proud of them. I mean, it's amazing that, you know, people join organizations to get a label, most of them. And I can tell you that from being 10 years in this industry of
100%, Jourdan. They think of it as like a resume builder.
Yeah, it's not though.
No,
it's not. You're
wasting your time if that's what you're trying to do, because why you want to put that on LinkedIn? Like, hey, I was also on the board of this and the board of that. And yeah.
I think that's why my podcast is called the Jourdan Derouen Podcast. It's a word. It's one of the hardest names to spell. Okay. Like, it comes at a cost, but it's okay. Like, I never wanted to do podcasting to say I get excited when, like, I just did a little TikTok clip from Andres Butler about his little boy going through, I'm not gonna name the school, but his little boy going through in 7th grade, going through some baseball stuff of being, you know, he's not fully developed with his puberty, but, you know, being a little too hard on him in the weight rooms.
That was Harrison?
What? I don't know. Maybe. Who knows? It's one of them schools over there.
One of them schools?
Yeah, well, and then there's a clip of him talking about his son getting home. Just a little TikTok clip of his son getting home from school. He's like, Dad, I'm going to go take a bath. He's tough. He's like, I'm not going to cry in front of him. That's what his little boy said. Andres was like, you know, tell me, son, like, what's going on? He's like, I didn't cry in front of him. He's like, I'm going to take a bath. You know, he's just sore of his body.
Yeah. He's worked out, man.
Yeah. And that little clip, I mean, it reached a lot of people. I mean, it's tracking 30,000 right now, just one little clip. And that's storytelling for other people that are messaging me that can relate about their kids too. And that's what people don't realize. Is like, when you get a person on that tells a story, like an Andrew Allen telling a story about, you know, losing his father and locking his father's office because he didn't want to see the office, and to now being able to clean up the office and take back memories and experience of, like, you being a little boy at Allen Beverages. And because it opens up so many different memories for you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that really helps with the charity. I mean, the podcast is a big part of the charity too. Everything I do, I mean, I think I have to give a lot of credit is number one, having my family behind me and my friends, but I never knew where this microphone would take me. And like, I never knew. Like, I'd be lying to you, because I at first I was just like, let's just get smashed and talk about, you know, unrelatable things that are on the coast.
Yeah. Like I think the funny part about it is that the intention was just, I'm going to have fun with my friends. And it's starting to morph into things that people, life lessons and things that people are finding relatable to their lives and connecting with stories and inspiring. You've become an inspiration just by wanting to have fun.
I'm learning how to be myself, and I'm still learning. Like I said, I pushed myself through 2 weeks of being consistent with this. And I've had people reach out to me. They're like, well, I'll go to 100,000 followers and I'm coming on your show. But I'm like, well, what's your story? And they're like, I mean, I'll take a nobody, right, that has a story versus a somebody that has nothing to say but wants likes and views.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's what people don't realize is, like, everybody is special. It's not just like everybody's special. Even if you don't feel like you're special, everybody's special. It's just we all live in our heads. And I figured out how to dance in my head. I feel like, you know, there's, you know, you remember DJ Boris? I mean, Douglas?
I don't think so.
Okay, well, DJ, we were younger. He came to the shop a lot because his dad was a Doug Boris from Dynamic Outdoors. But me and him, you know, I'm so proud of him. He's been working hard. He's a single father, 2 kids. Well, this weekend, we go to downtown Oak Springs, hop on my golf cart. Me and him start at 2:00. The whole night we're dancing, right? We're dancing. While we're dancing, people are coming up to me going like, dude, you're just like your show. And I'm like, you want to dance with us? It's like, and I want that for people, man. I want everybody to have a microphone in their head. I want everybody to give back to their community. I think the biggest thing, like you said, and I'm going to let you tell them what's happening. I don't like when people are sick. So I would trade a vehicle. I used to always want like a brand new Porsche, things like that. But but that's the time I was very selfish. And then the charity made me selfless. I couldn't go around and talk to these people battling cancer. I used to go by when I first started. I ain't gonna lie. When I first started, I just go like, oh, I'm sorry about your cancer. All right, see you later. And then it turned into like full blown.
You're checking boxes, man.
Ugh. Yeah, people are sick, man. It's not, I don't know. I also believe in God. And, you know, I don't go to church every Sunday, but I feel like I'm doing, told Jeremy Olimer at New Life over there. I was telling him, I was like, man, I feel like I'm doing a good bit of God's work. People are sick every day. And it's like I'm fighting a war. It's like I'm like playing a video game, like, you know, and I'm pushing and I keep getting back up. And yeah, it's just, man, I never knew what God had planned for me. I just knew that actions speak louder than words. And you can talk a big game, but when I leave out, like when I finish the show up with you, I'm going to be calling 4 or 5 sponsors. I'm going to be making graphics. I'm going to be calling, I'm going to be on that phone, making sure that, my goal is one day to heal the sick down here. I don't know. I'm going to do it somehow, some way.
Jourdan, let's talk about the event coming up. Let's talk about the pink dress run. Let's talk about what you guys have accomplished for this year's event, and kind of give me a little bit of that of what. First off, let's tell them when the event is. When is the event?
October 18th is our event. It starts. The registration starts at 9, and then run starts at 11 a.m. That's in downtown Gulfport at Chandelier Brewing.
Okay.
But this year we'll have. You can get your tickets online right now at pinkdressrun.com. But yeah, it's from 9 a.m. you registration. About 10 a.m. we do what you call Survivor Talk, where you watch while you're there. You watch on the big stage. You watch people that are going through some type of cancer. It's not just breast cancer, and you let them talk with a microphone. If they want to talk for an hour, they talk for an hour. There's no cutoff, and you have to sit there and pay attention. And then Hugh Keating this year is going to kick off. Our new mayor is going to kick off the national anthem. And then after the national anthem, we start the run. So that's pretty much the run.
Tell them about the idea you had about 3.5 years ago that you've gotten approved, and it's going to be this year, because this is a big deal.
Yeah. So it wasn't just me. It was me and John drinking one night. John slightly remembers. And it was just like, we got to a point where we were catching, most people we're talking to were, it's like, their biggest thing was like people calling me and John's phone or calling into the board members about having a lump or some type of feeling and not having insurance or, money for mammogram. And we were sitting there going back and forth like, hey, I was a kid. What if we try to get free mammograms so they can catch it early, at least, early detection is important. And so a couple of years, that next year, we just went at it. I think we've been going for 2.5, 3 years. And we're grateful that Memorial finally just said, let's do this. We can do this. Heck, I talked to Amy about Memorial. She said 83 or 86 people did mammograms last year.
That's so small, man.
It's shocking to me too. And it's just, we've been able to accomplish this through the fact that we don't have a bank account, guys. All the money that you pay, whether you're buying tickets online, it goes straight to Memorial's account. We want people to know that we're not taking money. Yeah, free mammograms. Of course, we'd like for you to sign up for the run. It's like $35, sign up for the run. But if you can't, just come see one of us. But yeah, we're just trying to keep track of the numbers. Yeah, but free mammograms, Andrew, that is like.
The way that they get it is it's that you receive a voucher at the race, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so you receive a voucher at the race and they'll explain where you go. And if you have any issues or you think that you need to get checked out, that this is an opportunity for you to go do that right now.
Correct. And it's people like you, sponsors like you, this year, y'all been with us. Shout out to Allen Beverages. But we have this year, we also brought in the medical marijuana industry. Not on top of that, we got, the casinos. So, shout out to Island View. There's a bunch of sponsors we have, but this year we decided to move into a different approach towards, kind of going against the whole opioids pandemic. We partnered up with local medical marijuana people. We actually have our own weed line, Carter's Champions F Cancer. You can get but you have to get them at dispensaries. You have to have your card, and it's 21 or above. But they've been able to give us money. This year also not only can you play Biloxi pickleball, if you want to go get your medical card, we got was it Mississippi Patient's Voice, or I might be saying Liz is out there, but you can get your medical card, but they want to educate on pain. We've been very blessed to see how we want to do this run. We got tattoo artists. You want to come out there and get a matching tattoo with your family member for breast cancer awareness. We do that too.
Yeah, I think it's grown tremendously year after year after year. And I think a lot of that has to do with just how hard you and John and y'all's team have worked on it, and the diligence of like not letting it go to the wayside and always keeping it in the forefront of people's thoughts. So I'm really proud of what you guys have done.
Well,
man.
I think the big thing though, Andrew, is without people like you, and I'm not kissing your butt, but with people like with like companies like yours, like local companies. I mean, honestly, people say this is me and John event. No, I think Hugh Keaton made this thing that he said that he wants to make a signature event for Gulfport. You know, we're going to be moving. We're going to be doing some stuff in Biloxi too. You know, and O Strings. But me and John don't look at this event like it's our event. We just want it to be an event for our community, and I think that's the key why we do it. Because like, bring your lawn chairs, bring your dog. You know, we want people to know that we live here, we raise money here, and I think that's the key. Is like, we're not trying to do some fancy events. We're just come out to the run. If you're feeling a certain way, like I'm telling you, if you're worried about a lump or something, you need to get out to the run. I mean,
100%. Especially if you have an opportunity where you can get a free voucher to go get checked out it's free for you to go get checked out.
Can't promise we're going to have it next year. You know, like,
for real. We don't know how much redemption this is going to be getting.
Yeah. I mean, it's cool to come on the show but it's people like you that see it. Cause you're always like, every time me and John call you, I know he does this little sneaker thing, a sneaker con.
I saw him last week.
Yeah. I mean, he moved into sneakers, and I'm looking at him going, do you really want to do this, John? Are we overloading our plate? But keep in mind, I got my show, and he comes on too. But you know, Andrew, I really don't know our next step. I know that I know that doing this, though, you know, I understand where John comes from. It's a lot on our families. It's a lot at home. This is a takeaway from our family. And I want John to know, I understand, you know, since we started this, how, you know, but John, we also, for us, man, this has been our goal. I'm wore out too, John. We're all wore out. That's the thing. The only downside of what we do is family time. You know, I have to skip TV, you know, I have no, like, because, you know, when it comes to merchandise, when it comes to getting sponsors, when it comes to get set up, I mean, there's permits, there's everything in play. I want to thank my board and say thank you, because it's like, guys, anybody who wants to start a charity, we've inspired, I think, 4 charities so far, but you better put your heart into it. And that's where me and John and our board stands with. It's like, because once that's this year, I think I knew, I said, June 1, we're going to start running. And I mean, I'm so proud of my board. I'm so proud of the people that support us. I love you, John. I love it's just, man, it's one of the things where everything comes at a cost. Nothing's perfect in this world.
Exactly. Hey, Jourdan. So just one more time for the listener, when is the event? When is the Pink Dress Run? How would someone sign up to help support Carter's Champions and the Pink Dress Run? And also, do you have any other events that are coming before that? So, yeah, Andrew, you can sign up at the pinkdressrun.com. That's pinkdressrun.com. And you can sign up teams too. Very simple to do it. Just go in there and sign up and, pick your shirt sizes. The event is at Chandelier Brewing, 14th Street, downtown Gulfport. Registration starts at 9. Run kicks off at 11. I'm trying to shoot for it's going to be from anywhere from 11 to 3 or 4. And then for the next event we have is actually before that, it's called It's a Pink Pop-Up, brought to you by one of our board members, Margaret. It's October 2nd, 6 to 9 p.m. You know, come sip and shop. They've got a bunch of dresses from all over the thrift stores all around. This is a donation base. So if you need a pink dress for the run, this is going to be it's a pink pop-up at Chandelier Brewing 2. That's downtown Gulfport. And we have live music there too. So, I mean, and if you just want to donate, you can go to pinkdressrun.com and you can donate right on the site straight to Memorial, even if you don't even come to the event. Well, Jourdan, listen, man, I appreciate you coming on. I'm very excited about the event this year. I know that you've kind of stepped up and kind of taken a little bit off of John's plate with this year with the planning, and you and the board are kind of running things. So I think that's going to be good. I think that y'all are going to execute it to perfection, and holler at me later on. Hey, John's back. Is he back? I feel like, he's pumped. He's been, everybody's got stuff, and I got stuff too. We just go through, like you got stuff. We all, but no, he's always been here. It's just, his big thing is, a little more behind the scenes this year. Which, I know he want to be at the forefront. I want to say thank y'all. Thanks for having me on your show. Absolutely, Jourdan. I love this show. If anybody's listening, you can go to the Jourdan Derouen Podcast, but I highly suggest
It's not made for kids. Okay. I am not a kids podcast. There is language in my show, but I want to say to you, Andrew, like I wish you start doing more of these shows.
I know, man. I'll do one. I do one a month, and that's about all I can squeeze in. But this has been a long time coming, Jourdan. I really appreciate you taking the time and getting on here and going through the history of everything with you and John and a little bit of your history and origin story. So always have a fun time when I get to talk to you and chat with you, and anytime I get to see you out in the world is a treat. So be in touch with me, and we'll stay in touch. Okay, man.
All right, guys, drink Pepsi.
Thanks.
Only
Jourdan.
drink Pepsi. Bye.
Bye. That's a wrap for this episode of Bottled Up. A huge thank you to Jourdan Derouen for joining me and sharing his incredible story. From his roots on the coast to building a business, hosting his own podcast, and co-founding Carter's Champions. His journey shows the power of carving your own path, pushing through setbacks, and lifting up your community. Jourdan's work with Carter's Champions, especially through events like the Pink Dress Run, is making a real difference, offering free mammograms and touching countless lives right here at home. If you're inspired to get involved, head to pinkdressrun.com to sign up, donate, or learn more. Thanks for tuning in, and until next time, remember to always support your local restaurants, businesses, and charities, and let's keep supporting our local community. Cheers. Thanks for listening to the Bottled Up Podcast. Want us to deliver this show to your email inbox as they drop? Want to tell us about how you like the show? Or do you want to tell us about a Gulf Coast business or restaurant that you'd like for us to spotlight in any upcoming episodes? Email Morgan Wheeler at mwheeler, MWHEELER at abevinc.com. That's ABEVINC.com. Want to know more about Allen Beverages and how we work with our clients, partners, and vendors? Check out allenbeverages.com. This show was edited and produced by Johnny Gwynn and Deep Fried Studios.